This title, in case you're worried, is not clickbait. I didn't expect Horizon Forbidden West to run as well as it does on the Steam Deck. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. Some background first. Forbidden West is one in a long list of Sony PC ports. These ports have by and large been excellent, with games like Spider-Man, God of War, Ratchet & Clank, and The Last of Us all running great on the Steam Deck. Forbidden West, if you're not familiar, is the sequel to the guerrilla blockbuster Horizon Zero Dawn, which was also ported to PC a few years ago, but already pushed the little handheld PC to its limits. Horizon Forbidden West is a one-of-a-kind third-person robot dinosaur adventure, and that's a mouthful. If you like sci-fi, you'll enjoy this game and its story, which builds heavily on the first game. Having saved the world from an extinction event in Horizon Zero Dawn as Aloy, you get to do it all over again because, shocker, something nefarious is still going on. And it's poisoning the earth and animals, and Aloy is the only one that can stop it. The story is pretty cool, but the star of the show, or stars I should say, are the world building and gameplay. When it first came out a couple of years ago, I first played this game on the PS4, and it was one of the most beautiful games I had ever played. Even now, there are very few games as visually striking as this one. The world itself is beautiful, with cool looking flora and fauna, colorful vegetation and plants gently weave in the breeze, as some scavenger dinosaurs dig around for whatever they're looking for. And especially with HDR, the world really pops. Beautiful views and vistas are everywhere, and cool action set pieces like this. Oh, massive boss battles like such are always right around the corner. The game is beautiful, but can the tiny Steam Deck really handle all this beauty? Before we answer that, let's take a quick look at the gameplay because this game is so much fun to play. Like in Zero Dawn, it's the dinosaur combat that makes up the brunt of the gameplay. And like in that game, it's still incredibly fun to take down a towering robot dinosaur with what amounts to a pointy stick and a bow and arrow. Aiding you in the takedown of these massive monsters is your focus. Scan the dinosaur that ails you for weak spots and elemental weaknesses, after which the dinosaur will light up like a Christmas tree, highlighting all the spots perfect for planting an arrow in. Hitting these weak spots with your bow feels significant, as they often break off with a satisfying crunch or bang. The larger ones even have weapons that can be removed this way and used against them, and it all feels very fast and smooth. There's an adrenaline function that slows down your aiming for that perfect shot. And if you're not outright fighting them, you can hunt and stalk them from the plentiful vegetation. Scan them, track their path and place a trap. Or sneak after them and take them down with a well-placed sneak attack. Traversal itself also feels great. Aloy responds fast and moves quick. You can climb on most areas, similar to games like Tomb Raider, where climbing is more of a puzzle with set handholds, and less free climbing like Breath of the Wild. This game plays out like an open world game similar to something like The Witcher 3. By and large, you're left to your own devices as you explore the large map that's available to you. Follow the main story or go and explore and do one of the many side quests and activities. The map is filled to the brim with things to do. Aside from the excellent world building and gameplay, what makes this game stand out for me is the epic feel of the game. From the extinction event story to the massive boss fights, the movie-like cutscenes of epic set pieces, something as simple as Aloy traveling to a distant location on a robot dinosaur steed accompanied by epic music and a beautiful landscape looks and feels grand. I can't overstate how epic this game feels to me, and to be able to play it all on the Steam Deck, be it with some reduced graphics, still blows my mind. Which brings us to performance. Like I mentioned in the beginning, this game runs surprisingly well. But this was after some initially big disappointments. The game's optimized out-of-the-box settings look, how do I say this nicely, awful. Take a look at this. Which makes sense because the game has trouble holding 30 frames per second. There is a but here though. I've played this game for about 3 hours now, and while there are some dips down to even 10 frames per second, and here comes the but, these seem to only happen during cutscenes, specifically fast-moving environment-changing scenes, and the Steam Deck has quite a bit of trouble handling these. Gameplay however seems pretty solid and has stayed mostly above, or at least hovered around, the 30 frames per second I was shooting for. There are drops below 30, specifically when moving quickly between areas, but nothing that bothered me, and during fights I haven't noticed any problem staying above 30. So that's great news, and that's what I was so surprised about. The initial settings look terrible. We've got dynamic FSR with very aggressive dynamic resolution scaling, and all settings on low. There's also this weird looking blur that happens when you look around. Turning dynamic resolution off, FSR to quality, and most settings from very low to low/medium makes the game look pretty decent, especially on the little Steam Deck screen. Here's some other settings that I tested. Dropping FSR down to balanced or performance can buy you a few frames. Settings to medium and high, really plummets the frame rate and is not advisable. And lastly, I just wanted to mention that the load times are very quick. Both loading into the game or loading a save file is super fast. In my 3 hours I had one crash. It happened during a cutscene of all things. The frames tanked below 10 frames per second, chugged on for a bit and then just stopped. Maybe like a memory leak or something. Overall though, I'm very happy with the performance of the game and how it plays. Also, I wanted to give this game some extra love because it's once again going to be overshadowed, this time by Capcom's Dragon's Dogma 2. Let me know what you think. Will you pick this game up or is the performance too poor? Check out this video for Performance on Expeditions, a Mud Runner game, another gem, and I hope to see you in the next one.